Good morning, I'm Neva Manu, and this is your morning news fix for Tuesday, 19th of March. In this update, our court system's facing numerous issues, including courtrooms closing due to mould, stress and failures in the legal aid system. Chief Justice Dame Helen Wynne-Kelman has released her latest briefing to Attorney General Judith Collins. It outlines the need to raise the cap on the number of senior judges, backlogs in the system and chronic underfunding in courtroom maintenance. Criminal Bar Association President Annabelle Creswell told Mike Hosking the Chief Justice has it right.
I've done trials where there's been a bucket on the floor and the ceiling's been leaking, and that's just catching the drips throughout the whole trial.
New Zealanders are drinking less alcohol than previously thought. Auckland University has carried out the country's first large-scale trial of testing wastewater to monitor alcohol consumption. It found the average alcohol consumption to be 1.2 standard drinks per day for people over 15 years, lower than the World Health Organization's 2018 estimate. Alcohol Beverage Council Executive Director Virginia Nichols told Mike Hosking the report didn't factor in responsible drinking.
We know from the New Zealand Health Survey that 84% of us are drinking in a responsible way, and that has increased considerably in the last year. But it still says that 16% of us are drinking in a hazardous way, and that's still too many.
Pushback to the government's efforts to make eviction of kāinga order tenants easier. The Housing and Finance Ministers have sent the agency a letter of expectation asking it to disestablish the Sustaining Tenancies Framework. And the government also wants more done about arrears owed to kāinga order, saying total debt owed has gone from $1 million to $21 million in the past 6 years. Housing Group Public Housing Futures spokesperson Vanessa Cole says many are already struggling and don't need more debt piled on.
Having to make really tough choices every day about paying for food or paying for rent or paying for gas to be able to get to interviews.
The Trade Minister says fast-tracking a trade agreement with Europe will have a big short-term impact for our exporters. It'll save exporters an estimated $100 million in tariffs over the agreement's first year. Todd McClay says they wanted to get it done now, so savings can kick in at the start of May, rather than August or September as originally planned.
The kiwi fruit industry will have its whole European season go in tariff-free, which will be a saving of about $43 million.
The government's declined Westport's request for flood resilience funding. The Buller Town's left with a $12 million gap in their budget since the Three Waters entity was scrapped. It was earmarked for their stormwater system so water can be pumped out from inside the new flood walls. But local government minister Simeon Brown says it's not the government's problem. In sport, Nottingham Forest, the home of all-white striker Chris Wood, have been docked 4 points for breaching Premier League football profit and sustainability rules. That drops them into the relegation zone on 21 points. Shot putter Jack O'Gill says he's likely to train at home and opt out of all competition overseas until the Paris Olympics starting in July. South Sydney have introduced a swear jar to discourage players from dropping profanities in interviews. That follows Latrell Mitchell's potty mouth after their NRL loss to Brisbane. I'm Neva Manu. That's your latest news fix. We'll be back with the next update at midday from the Newstalk ZB newsroom.